What's up, guys? This is Bullfire the Fell-Handed here. Welcome to Art of the STB 1 Part 3. We are on Dragon Ridge Standard Battle. The greens have the northern spawn, the reds have the southern spawn. What I normally like to do on this board is I like to go right flank. That is the F1 E1 area.
Yeah.
Because normally if you go, say, the left flank from where we're at, it's nothing but just straight up slinging. That's a lot of the TDs posted up on that ridge, so on and so forth. I like to go around the side. Sometimes this side ends up getting left undefended, which you can really take advantage of. This is the perfect map for the STB-1's massive gun depression. So that's kind of what, we're going to use to our advantage here. Get hull down, bottom out the gun so we increase the top of the turret armor, so on and so forth. And that's right now where we're going to. We're going to go up on this hill. We're going to see if we can't get some shots. Keep in mind I don't have very many skills / any on this tank, so I'm going to try to do what I can with what I have been given. The potter cannot always work with the finest clay, and thus that is myself with the crew. But we're working on it. We're working on it. So right now, not on this little hill slope type situation here is the best place to fire. If you are going to be in this tank, I would recommend getting up here and going off to the right. To my right, you'll see a little shelf. That's a perfect position. You can kind of post up in there. The only downside is we have a guy just literally right here. We ended up catching a lucky bounce. Don't depend on your armor in any tank at all. Just never. Bounce another round there. And in this situation, it's more luck, RNG, what have you. At any rate, once we are past this obstacle here, this Indian Panzer, then you're in a better commanding position of the field. You can really make this tank work. You can get things happening. You can get things done because, with the STB's view range, the depression, the tank is just a powerhouse. It's probably the most slept on tank in the game, I believe, just because it's so versatile, and it's a good tank. And more often than not, the guys pushed in the middle will be lighting up some of the guys on the hills. You won't actually have to light up your own targets. Granted, they can back up to where they're effectively hull down from you, which is kind of what we have going on here. So, not fantastic accuracy to snipe at commander's hatches from a distance, but sometimes you just have to do what you can do. You're not always going to be long dicking somebody in a Leopard 1 or an E50M or what have you. You're not always going to have .30 accuracy. Sometimes you're going to have to make those long shots with what you have. And that's exactly what we're doing right here. We're just trying to pick off targets, put rounds down range. Just, essentially just get the rounds out of the gun, see what happens. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to be very cautious because, once again, do not have sixth sense. That is typically the first skill I always go for. I don't actually have a lot of experience running a tank without it. I highly recommend the first skill you get in any tank is sixth sense. Well, maybe not already, because typically you can watch the map and know when you're about to get rolled. At any rate, so what I like to do is get up in these new hills and new valleys. In the K2, maybe not K2, but J3, J4 that weren't there previously. They've redone this map completely, and there's so many nooks and crannies and hills and valleys, and they made the map larger. Just completely redid this map. I believe it was update 3.1. At any rate, it's magnificent. It's awesome now. Everybody used to hate it now. A lot of people love it now, just because it's so much more in depth than it was. Before it was just nothing but hills and rape and pain. And now it's, you know, it's got its hills and its peaks and its valleys and its flatlands and areas like that, and it's nice. It's a very nice board now, I think. And you know, if you don't have your ducks in a row, if you're, you know, in a scrim perspective, if you don't have people covering every aspect, if, you know, if you're gonna run the base camp scenario, you don't have every aspect covered, you don't have guys in the, you know, in the left, mid, and right, then you're gonna get rolled. And in this case, you would literally have to make a picket line, just because of the length and breadth of this board. This is a massive board. It's, you know, I don't know the actual dimensions. It's just pretty fucking big. But you know, at any rate, once you get to the position I'm in, a lot of times you can snipe. You can sit here and do what I'm doing. You can snipe, or you can go back into the hills and come around behind the cap. A lot of good shots to be had there. You can get a lot of shots on the artillery. You can get a lot of shots at the campers at G9 that are behind the back line of the main front. So you can get a lot of things done if you go further back, which looks like that's what we're doing right now. So there's always opportunity on this board. Always opportunity. And you know, we're not really connecting with loads of shots. That's because primarily all our rounds are, you know, we're firing from such a distance, and you shouldn't necessarily expect to pin every single time at this great of a distance. You know, just be glad if you hit the guy. I mean, you know, RNG is going to do what it will with you, and there's little you can say about it. You just have to, you know, roll with the punches. So once your shots dry up, just cut out and leave and go and look for another place where you can get some shots. You know, if you look at the scoreboard, we are losing badly. You know, you kind of know how this is going to end. If not, you should. And at this point, we're just going to go in here. We're going to try to do all the damage we can before we go out. And that, you know, what else, you know, do you desire? That's all you have to do, is just go in there, do your best, and then go out, because you know it's coming sooner rather than later. So right now we're at their cap. We're trying to see, you know, what we can get going on, what we can make happen, who we can, you know, go ahead and remove from the game. And you know, in any medium, you just need to have a very cool head, because a lot of things are going to happen at once, more or less at any point in the game. You're going to get in a position where, you know, people decide to YOLO you, or you know, ride into the wrong area, and you immediately put yourself in a surrounded position. So, you know, having a cool head would definitely behoove you in any medium, because you just make better decisions if you're, you know, in a very calm state. And that's kind of what we have going on here. We know it's coming. You know, it's not going to be a surprise to any of us. At least it shouldn't be. And, you know, we're just going to go through here and just try to do a little bit more damage before we get taken out of the game. Put a round in him right there, and he knows it's coming. I think he just fired. You know, sometimes there's just nothing you can do. End up tracking the poor guy. He's going for the ram, which I don't blame him one bit. I think I would too, just to do any damage. And it looks like they are busy capping out right now. Have a guy behind me, not crazy about that, and then defeat. So in this game, we just managed not to get killed. Guys, thank you for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe.